Good morning and welcome to another session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and welcome to another pre-market review session. So before we get started here, let's go ahead and display our risk disclosure here. Go ahead and do this. All right. So all the content that's being published and distributed and contained herein is to be treated as general information only. None of the information by the company or contained is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. And an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security should be used when trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation and offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, wanted to spend a little bit of time on what will amount to be a very big day in news. All right, a lot of news today, a lot of news that could impact the markets here. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, we're gonna redisplay here in a second. Okay. Should be back. Okay, excellent. All right, so here we are. Just to take a look at the news, it should be no surprise, but we have an FOMC rate statement coming up today, later this morning into afternoon, depending on your time zone. Okay, and so in addition to that, we have a number of earnings reporting. Okay, later this after the bell. Okay, we got Meta, we got IBM, we got Tesla, we got Microsoft. But the two big ones I would say is the FOMC rate statement. Okay, as well as for those who trade crude oil, we have the EIA crude oil report. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Okay, as we head into the markets, the market participants may wait for this statement, especially the equities and gold markets, before making any serious directional decisions on the market. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, once the statement is out, I would obviously it's your prerogative, but I would highly recommend that you let the news kind of digest, let the market digest the news, and then after maybe a bit of time, say a half hour or more, then you can engage in the markets. Okay, so and if all this news is going to throw a wrench in your processes, there's no shame in sitting this out and just letting the news play out and come back for another day of trading. Okay. Often days like this that is filled with news that could impact the markets, create markets that are not quite tradable, right? Directions are not quite consistent or very volatile, or rangy. Okay, so again, something to keep in mind as we approach the markets today. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the not the news, but the markets themselves. And we'll go ahead and start with the market that we normally start with, and that's gold market. Okay, so you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart and kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Well, the market is at the high end of the range here. Okay, If we are to look at the most recent set of candles here, you can see that the market is trying to head higher. Okay. Now it is coming into an area around 2,800. Okay. This is not the first time it's been around. It's been in this area. Okay. But it is an area that has shown or proven to be somewhat resistant. Okay. So this area right here has been an area that has proven to be somewhat resistant. Now, the question with the FOMC statement and things of that nature, will that be the, how we say, the igniter, okay, of maybe price action that could potentially break 2,100, okay, or is it going to be the location where we maybe get another leg lower, okay? We'll soon find out, all right. But what I do know is that 2,800 is a level that historically has been an area where price has fallen. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. You can see that we're again up against or near this 2,800 level. Okay. We have been of late, I would say, since Monday, kind of working our way higher. All right. And right now we seem to be in some sort of consolidation range, right up against value area high. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Here we are. As I mentioned, we're up against the value area high here. Okay. Um, we have not been able to make a new high of late. We had a push higher, and it was met with some selling. Okay. Have not been able to establish any new grounds above. Okay. And with that said, we haven't really made any significant lows either. So we've been in this kind of consolidation range. So this is our value area range. We are technically above value. I'm going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. Okay, there's our initial balance range. Okay, so we still have a good 30 minutes for this range to establish. It seems that we've received some buyers that have kind of stepped into this market for now. Okay, so we have more buying than selling at the moment, to the tune of about 700 some odd orders. Okay, so right now, like I said, we are above value. Um, we are technically above our value, our VWAP, but the VWAP appears to be a bit on the flat side. So very difficult to pick a direction when we have such a flat VWAP. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add our anchor VWAP here. I'm going to locate. This is London. All right, we got a push in London. So both our anchored and our daily VWAP is indicating that maybe there is some more upside opportunity in this market. But the line in the sand, or the line that I need to see crossed, is that I need to see price able to break. I'm just going to call it 2773. Okay, 2773, and probably as high as 2775. Okay, before I'm willing to, say with certainty that we maybe are going to reach the high of the day, not the high of the day, but the average session range high, okay, of 2780. All right. So we're right now, it appears that we are in this kind of consolidation range. We'll have to wait and see how this initial balance range closes. Okay. We have yet another 30 minutes or so for that to take place. But for now, it does appear that it's looking bullish. But as long as we remain inside this area here, right, inside, and not make a new high, there's always the potential price could extend inside or into value area low, and we could get a full rotation of price through value. Okay, so we're kind of in a I wouldn't say odd location, but a location where there really isn't a dominant player at the moment. Okay, so we have again, we have our push higher, okay, indicating we got some buyers to step into this market, but we have not made a new high. Since then, we've been kind of ranging. So for me, I would like to see price exceed 27, let's say 27.75, okay, and potentially use 27.75 as that area for maybe a location to serve as an execution to the upside. Okay. If 27.75 can hold, then I feel like I have a reference level that I can lean on. And chances are that 27.75 level will also be the same around the same level that we have initial balance high. So the combination of structure with the initial balance high could offer us a location that could provide us an opportunity to the upside. Now, where am I wrong? Well, I'm wrong if price heads or closes back inside not initial balance, but back inside value. Okay, because if price closes back inside value, then there's a good chance that we will rotate through value all the way down to say maybe 27.50. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. Okay, um, for now. So we'll go ahead and move on, unless there's questions. We'll move on um, to the crude oil market. Okay, before we jump into the equities. Okay, so here's the crude oil. All right, like I said, today is inventories. Something to keep in mind. All right, we have an inventory report coming in at 10:30 Eastern time today. So something to keep in mind. Okay. Um, Now let's go ahead and look at the daily chart and see what the daily chart is telling us. Now, of late, okay, we can see, we'll go ahead and remove our drawings here. Of late, we've been in this kind of bearish channel to the downside. We did have a bullish close, but it wasn't able to break any sort of structure to the upside. Now we have a developing bearish candle on the daily, okay? And if we do happen to break below this, then I think it opens the door for price to maybe head down to 70 and maybe as low as 68. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. So price, okay, has or is in the beginning stages, I would say, of breaking maybe some structure here that could lead to further price action to the downside. Now, with that said, if price holds around this 73 level, this also is an area of demand. You can see that we've gotten some consolidation or have some market structure here, okay, that where price has accelerated away from this area in the past. Now the question is this going to happen again? Okay, is this going to serve as that area, or is this area going to break down and maybe price closing below it and offer us an opportunity to the downside? Right now, from a volume delta perspective, we have more sellers than buyers at the moment. Okay, and that is odd because it should be an area that should garner some support. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, for our chart, we have a developing bullish candle. Okay, we had just closed a bearish candle. All right, now, and that's looks like has garnered a little bit of a response from our buyers. Again, we remain in this bearish structure to the downside. We have yet to break any structure to the upside. Right, so this level 74, okay, would be the first level that I would see that would offer us a new, I guess, a break of structure that maybe could provide us some indication that maybe there's maybe some more upside in this market. But right now, we have to respect the fact that we remain in a bearish channel to the downside. Okay, all right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We are hovering around value VWAP. Okay, we're on the low end of our ranges here. Okay, average daily range and average session range around the 73 level appear to be somewhat supportive. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust my the initial balance here has not opened yet, so I'm gonna just now it did. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm not sure I need the extension levels here, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. All right, here we are. All right, so the market just opened, okay? And it opened, let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price opened in relation to value, okay? And we're going to go ahead and locate the start of the session here on Tuesday, which is back here, drag that across to the close, okay? And you can see that we are on the lower end of value, but still inside value, okay? So we're at the lower end of value, but inside value. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and extend this line here. All right around what is that? 73.29. Okay, price is below. Price is below our VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in our anchored VWAP here. Okay, anchored VWAP on the start of London up here. Well, that was met with some sellers as well. Okay, now we are above our anchor VWAP and looks like it's trying to get above our daily VWAP as well. Okay, so if we do manage to hold the low end of value and are able to make a new high on a 15-minute chart, okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop it to a 15. Okay, if we are able to get above, say, I don't know, 73.65, okay, then maybe, that could offer us an opportunity to the upside, okay? But given what I'm seeing on the higher time frame, it seems that I should be much more aligned with opportunities to the downside than I am to the upside, okay? So I'm going to be looking maybe for a break of value to the downside, which could also translate as a break of initial balance to the downside, and that could offer me a nice opportunity to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what the higher time frame is suggesting that price will do. Okay, so now what I'm waiting on is the price or initial balance. Okay, to establish that. Now, what's different about this today than other days is the fact that we have EIA in the horizon. We're about an hour and a half away from this EIA report. So we'll probably be better served in waiting for this EIA report to establish, okay, to report, and then look for an opportunity. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market, right? So crude oil market does appear a bit bearish. This kind of feels like more of a retracement, okay, rather than a impulsive move to the upside. And if it's more of a retracement, well, I can take a measure here and get a sense for where this market could go. Well, this market could go right where my end of my pointer here is, and it can head all the way down to 72.60, right? If this is a swing, if this is a swing lower, and this is merely just a retracement, okay, well, the 100% extension, or you can think of it as a measure move, would be down to 72.56. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in the crude oil. All right. So I'm looking, I guess, a little bit bearish. I guess I'm waiting for my price event, maybe a close below value. All right. Could be the ticket here. All right. That could provide me a logical location or logical destination here. Now, one thing to be aware of. Okay. We are around the average daily range and average session ranges. Okay, these areas, as they've proven to be already once, these areas could offer some resistance to that move to the downside. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. I'm going to take a peek here to see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing them. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the equity markets, which is everyone's interest at this point. Okay, Now the equities, okay, we're going to start with the Nasdaq, okay. So looking at the 4-hour chart, okay, we have this gap that was created at the start of Sunday, and we had a little bit of a sell-off into Monday, okay, and then we've then since then have rallied, okay, we've rallied. All right, now the question is, my assumption is that this 22,000 level will remain an area of resistance. Okay, I don't expect us to plow through that area. Okay, 22,000. That area should be an area that will continue to serve as resistance in this market. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of ranges here from an average session perspective and average daily range perspective. We're kind of in the middle of ranges. Price is below our VWAP, which could be an indication that maybe we could see some price heading lower in the market. Okay, let's go ahead and see where price is in relation to volume profile from yesterday. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and locate the 9:30 and drag this across to the close of the market. Okay, there we are. So let's see. This is yes. Okay, so you can see that price has creeped its way back into value. Okay, now the logical thing would be that, and again, markets are not logical, but the expectation now that we've gotten the close back inside is that we have the potential of rotating through value. Okay, we got a break, we got another close. Okay, we got to close back inside. Now this does open the opportunity up or the possibility of a rotation. Now, what stand in its way is that it's come into some structure that has been supportive. Okay, so this 21,550 level, 21,560 level, it has been an area where we've seen quite a bit of price action. It is also the area of point of control. Okay, so this area could we could meander here a little bit before we pick a direction. And given that we have an FOMC statement, we can stay in this range until that statement is made in the markets. Okay, so right now we have price below VWAP. We have price inside value. I feel like it wants to or will kind of rotate through value. Okay. If I go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP, okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my anchor VWAP to this discussion here. I'm going to locate the start of London, which was back here, okay, and you can see that price is below our anchor VWAP as well. So we have price below anchor VWAP, we have price below our daily VWAP. Our initial balance is a good 20 minutes away from starting. Okay, so we can't get any inclinations, any hints there. Okay, but we do know is that we are inside value, inside balance, so we could kind of waffle around here in a range. Okay, until and not pick any sort of direction until the FOMC meeting later today. So something to keep in mind as we approach pre-market and as we approach the open of the market here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Nasdaq right now. It seems like it wants to be. It's not really picking any sort of direction. I see that the volume delta is saying that maybe we are getting a little bit of more buyers than sellers at the moment. That doesn't really is not really lining up as nicely with what I'm seeing in the way of price. We did manage to get a bullish candle, and maybe just maybe if we can get above say 21,700, maybe that will be the the price action that we need in order to drive price higher. Okay, so we'll have to see. Right now, I feel like price has the potential of remaining in a range. Okay, until the FOMC meeting. Okay, we might get a little bit of a push here on the open, okay, of the market, and then we'll probably settle into a level until the FOMC meeting that happens later today. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the ES market. Let's move on to the S&P, okay, and see what the S&P has for us. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the daily, and I don't think I review the daily on the Nasdaq, but we do have this gap down, right? We do have a gap down, and we did move to the downside, but that only seems to have triggered some buyers. Okay, so far. Okay, now we have an inside bearish candle in an area, right, where maybe is developing a little bit of a supply zone right around this 6150, 6100 level. Okay, so moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, we do also see a little bit of volume delta. Okay, leading us to believe maybe there's some more downside. Okay, so we have a developing bearish candle here. Again, kind of back to my view that I had made earlier. This looks more of a retracement, right? This being our swing, okay, and then this being kind of a retracement of that swing. Well, that leads us to believe that maybe 5890 or around 5900 could be our destination for this, right? This would be a very symmetrical move, right, to the downside. Okay, we have our swing, we have a retracement, and then another swing down to this 50 and settle in around 5900. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart. On the 30-minute chart, okay, 30-minute chart, we're hovering right around the average session range low. Okay, price is below our VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw in our fixed range volume profile, locate where price is in relation to yesterday. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drag that across to the close. Okay, so there's our value area range. Okay, so we are in balance, right? We're in balance of yesterday's range. Okay, so really not an area that's probably going to generate anything in the way of a whole lot of direction other than a lot of overlapping price. Okay, we probably need to wait for price to either get above value or below value to really entertain anything, or at least at the edges of value. Right now, we're in the middle of value. Okay, if we're in the middle of value, I don't know about you, but that's not really an area that I'm really interested in participating. Okay, I'd like to focus my attention on the edge of value, right? Because that's going to generate the participants that we need to drive price in a direction. Okay, right now we are a little bit extended below VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP for the start of London here. Okay, and you can see that we're also in below the VWAP that was established during the London session. So we have two indications that says that maybe we are going to see some maybe further price action to the downside. Right now, the ideal would be for price to come back to VWAP. Okay, allow me to manage my risk here a little bit better, and then we would get a move back to the downside. Now, if I'm bullish on this market, okay, if I think, well, I've gotten to a point where maybe this is more of a setup for longs, well, I still need to get above VWAP, and ultimately I need to get above 6100 to really get out of the way of the bears that have kind of moved the market lower. Okay, so VWAP is going to be kind of my line in the sand here to understand, do we make it up to VWAP for a continuation move to the downside, or do we get above VWAP and then ultimately above 6100 for maybe a potential leg to the upside? Okay, right now we're inside balance. Really, for me, there's really nothing to do in this range right now. Okay, we are inside value from yesterday, meaning that there is temporary balance. There's temporary balance between the buyers and the sellers. Okay, you can see even in the volume delta, a lot of overlap here, right? We got a spurt of buyers followed by a spurt of sellers. All right, we've been at this since the close, right? Really no major direction here. Okay, a lot of the participants is probably are waiting for the FOMC rate statement. Okay, so that's something to be cognizant of as well. Given that we're going to get a FOMC statement later this afternoon. Okay, like I said, initial balance is still about 15 minutes away from establishing here. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see how this market opens. I don't rule out the possibility of a rally up to VWAP. Okay, that's certainly not out of the question here since we are somewhat extended. But once we get to VWAP, I feel like maybe we have an opportunity for price to kind of continue to the downside. That's kind of what I'm seeing so far. All right. Let's see if there's any questions that I could entertain here for ES. I'm not seeing them. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the last market. Okay, and that is the Dow. Okay, now looking at the Dow. Okay, very similar to what we've been seeing in the other equity markets. Okay, we are kind of on the top end of the range here. I would say that the Dow has probably been the most bullish, okay, of the equity markets, right? And now we're up at this 45,000 level. Now the question is this going to be an area for price to fail? Okay, and because we are in this 45,000 level, right? We hovered around this for a number of days the last time, and we and we had a reversal in price. Okay, is the same going to hold true in now? Right, we're back up to this 45,000 level. Is this going to be an area where we get price to reverse? Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we are inside of a little bit of a range here. We have a developing bearish candle. We have volume delta that seems to be aligned with that view. Okay, right now it feels a little heavy. Okay, it feels like we're creating a little bit of a hook pattern here. Okay, that could cause price to head lower. Okay, I say could. All right. What I'd like to see I'd like to see this candle here firm up and not give me a wick. Okay, that would give me a little bit more confidence of the strength of the sellers here. Okay, all right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Again, we've been similar to the other markets. We've been kind of in this range. I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the start of Tuesday to the close of Tuesday, and here we are, right smack in the middle, on maybe a little bit on the lower end of value from yesterday, but still price is still very much in balance here. Okay, we have price below our VWAP. If I go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP for the London session, I suspect that that's going to be the same. Okay, so we have both our daily session and our most recent session on the lower end. Okay, if I'm really going to entertain longs in this market, then I absolutely need to get above 45,000. Okay, if I get above 45,000, okay, that will break. They will break this first candle that I have here on the 30-minute side. Then we have 44,040. If I can get a close on either of those and still remain above maybe a reference level of initial balance high or something along those lines, then that could provide maybe the impetus for maybe a move to the upside. Okay, right? So again, as long as we remain below VWAP and below daily VWAP, I have to feel like maybe there's a chance that we head lower. Okay, once we start to get price above, right, say 45,000, that will get price above these VWAPs and lead to maybe some price action to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Dow. Okay, I think I've captured all the levels here. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and maybe start my review here in for the gold market, because the gold market's initial balance range is going to close here in about 10 minutes. Okay. So I'd like to see where price is in relation to that initial balance range to see if it gives me kind of an early opportunity, because I think I'd rather be early, maybe early on a FOMC than into the session for any extended period of time. Because the further we get into the session, I think the more influence that FOMC statement is going to have, and maybe cause participants to lay low until that FOMC meeting takes place. Okay. So again, I hope you enjoyed the complimentary session here on the pre-market analysis. Again, this particular analysis is indeed behind a membership portal. Okay, as of the start of the year here, and so would encourage you guys to consider that. We have, three different levels: the market starter level, the market plus, market trader plus, and the market trader pro. Okay, market starter is really simply access to some of the libraries of educational content that I provide. Market trader plus offers you opportunities for analysis like this on a semi-regular basis, obviously on a daily basis for pre-market, and then opportunities on the weekly analysis. And the market trader pro is where I make myself available during the session to trade live. Okay, once to twice a week, we open up the portal here and allow you guys to monitor me and watch me trade live. So 3 levels of how do I work out the 4-hour supply? Okay. Basically, the 4-hour supply, I try to locate. Now, this might not be a great market because we might be. Oh, no, it's not. It's not bad. Okay, so I look to the left, Robin. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove some of my drawings here. Okay, all right. So I look to the left. Okay, and I tried to see, is there an area where I've seen sellers in the past? Okay, well, I see an area here. Okay, so this area right here looks like an area where I've seen some sellers in the past. So I basically take that level, okay, and I try to capture it inside a box of some sort. Okay, so I do one of these numbers and I just drag it across. Okay, so this is kind of an area where I've seen selling in the past. Okay, so this, right, this then becomes an area. Right now, you just saw me draw this. I didn't really look at this, but notice how price is kind of stalled around it. Okay, this is an indication based on what we see on the left hand side that there are some sellers present there. So when I draw a 4-hour supply, or you can think of it as resistance, I'd like to see an area where I've seen bearish price action. Simple as that. Okay. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, Robin. So this area right here on the Dow would be, for me, considered a 4-hour supply zone or a 4-hour resistance zone, because I see that there's been selling here in the past. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. So again, I do have some super chats and things that you might be able to get involved in, kind of to again encourage me to continue to provide this analysis to you guys. Otherwise, there's the membership levels that are available there as well for you to participate a little bit more deeply into this portal and continue to support me and the content that I provide on a daily basis to the markets here. Okay. So with that, we'll close the session, Ivan and Robin and others. Okay. So again, as we close every session, guys, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Be careful today, okay? Because with FOMC and all the various news events that we have, we could head into quite a volatile market, especially with FOMC once it reports. Okay, and leading up to it, it may be a little bit duller than normal. Okay, so that's something else to kind of keep in mind. Okay, all right, that's it for me, guys. So we'll be back again tomorrow. All right, trying to drum up a little bit more marketing. Don't be shy with the likes and the comments, guys. Again, these are kind of the lifeblood of content providers like myself, and it encourages me to kind of wake up early every morning to provide this content to you. Okay, all right, guys, that's it for me. Again, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader, and have a fantastic trading session today, guys. Thanks again.